Who buys old, 10-year-old and above, luxury cars, and why? I have done it a number of times and here's why. A dear old mechanic friend told me the secret many years ago. When you buy a used car, just assume it needs some kind of work, weigh that possibility against the car's attributes and go with the old saw, hope for the best but prepare for the worst. Here's an example using my last purchase. I bought a Mercedes-Benz E320 that had a big front-end problem, while everything else was well maintained and in great condition. My budget was $3,500 but I bid at $1,500. It was gratefully accepted. I then spent $2,000 on the front end. So now I have an 18-year-old Mercedes with relatively low mileage for $3,500. This is my E46 2001 330 Ci. I bought it 10 years ago for $15,000. It had 44,000 miles on it. It still looked brand new. It was immaculate. It was optioned with everything including M suspension, sports package, and premium packages and stick shift. 10 years later it has 180,000 miles on it and runs like new but tends to burn oil. All told, until this year I put just under $5,000 in repairs, alternator, water pump and the cooling system self-destructed once. Otherwise it was just routine maintenance. This year I sunk another $5,000 to fix everything and restored it essentially. Parts online are not any more expensive than other cars, and if you have an independent mechanic it's really not that much more than a Toyota to maintain. If you do the math, that works out to $208 per month for the last 10 years to drive this. That is why. Yes, but with the caveat that they are not German. Sorry fanboys, but the truth is, at least in the US, old German cars are a money pit. I was a factory certified mechanic for several brands including Audi, and there's no way I would buy anything out of warranty that's German. Parts are more expensive and repairs take longer and cost more. Maintenance is not the key. Doing your oil and filter changes as scheduled isn't going to prevent the climate control from acting up, the window motors from failing, the suspension from needing repair at relatively low mileage, or any of the other myriad problems they have. Maintenance / repairs. So what I will buy are Infiniti, Lexus, and Acura. They're usually easy to work on, reliable, and parts are cheaper. I recently sold an 06 Infiniti Q45 with nearly 300k miles on it. Everything worked as it should have, the engine was quiet even on cold starts, you'd never know it had that kind of mileage on it. My wife has an 04 Infiniti G35X with about 155k on it. Same deal. All I have to do is change the oil on it. I've had many Lexus models over the years with the same experience as well. I just did, 3 months ago, a 2008 Lexus GS350. Why? Because it has just under 100,000 kilometers on the clock, with the legendary Lexus/Toyota reliability it's barely run in. It has a powerful 3.5 V6 with over 300 bhp, is fully loaded with equipment, leather, heated/cooled seats, climate, electric memory, everything, touchscreen infotainment, and it cost me about half the price of a brand new Suzuki Swift. Why wouldn't I should be the question. Yep, all that for less than the price of a 3-year-old Mazda Demio. I have bought a couple of older high-end cars. This is my current car. It's a 2011 Volvo XC60 T5 with a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine. When I bought it last year it had 19,000 miles on it, 31,000 kms, so it was literally brand new, inside and out. I paid $8,800 for it, and knew that I'd have to put a little money into it to make it roadworthy because it had been sitting for so long. That cost me $2,200. So 10 grand overall, and it drives like a dream. My favorite thing about the car is that it is bulletproof. No joke. So that's why I bought it. I knew when I got it that it would last a long time and that I could easily resell it if I wanted to. But be careful when buying an older luxury car, sometimes parts are expensive or not available at all, especially for limited edition models, so check on how many were built. Also, have a professional look at it if you don't know much about cars. At other times the insurance is really expensive, so verify with your insurance company before you buy. I was an auto mechanic many years ago, so I knew what I was getting myself into when I bought my car. I knew that I had to tune it up, change all the fluids and filters, replace the thermostat, swap out the battery and pack the bearings before I handed over the cash. Cheers. Me. But it wasn't something I planned. It was August of 2017 and I had moved back to my home state after separating from my longtime husband. I wasn't broke, but I couldn't spend a lot as I had no job, and a young teenage son. I purchased a well-kept VW Passat wagon from a relative. Sadly, in my hour of need, I found out he charged me 2x the screaming deal he got from a friend of his. Yes, he's a jerk. No, I don't talk to him anymore. I really loved that car with its heated leather seats, power everything, sunroof, and other premium features. However, it was a bit of a money pit that left me stranded once or twice. I had already overpaid by a couple thousand, and put in 2 more, and I just couldn't keep throwing money at it. I felt so defeated. So, in the summer of 2019, my amazing friends got their heads together and looked for a car. They included features I liked about my car, my preference for a medium-size SUV, something those gearheads could work on relatively easily without being forced to go to the dealership, and they found me a 2003 BMW X5. I've never been a BMW person per se, but the car was just the right size, and had all the nice features I had grown to appreciate. A huge bonus was that it only had 75k miles on it, with one owner that used it as a weekend driver. I was in heaven. Those amazing guys found out all the recommended service for it for the next 50k miles and completed it early. So, I know when I walk out to my car, it will start every time. And if it ever doesn't, I know that the model year they choose is one that will be an easier and less expensive fix than newer models. I have zero regrets, and am driving something that makes me happy. Smiling face with smiling eyes.